The objective of this section is to see if there's a relationship between two variables, okay? So, for example, we might want to know if there's a relationship between how much you study and the grade on your next exam, okay? So, the population and the sample, that remember we're trying to estimate what's going on in the population. The population and the sample are going to consist of measurements on not one variable, but two. So of course, if you want to know if you want to, again, the example we just talked about, if you want to compare someone's study time to the grade they got in an exam, you need to have two pieces of information for each person, both their study time and their exam grade. And of course, you don't want to use the study time for one person and another person's exam grade. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be collecting the data in pairs, okay? So we're going to have pairs of data on two variables, say X and Y, and that paired data is called bivariate data. It's called bivariate data, data that comes in pairs, okay? So I'm going to be working an example that I'm also going to extend to the next section, which has to do with simple linear regression. I'm going to be talking about this real estate example, okay? Now, here we have a real estate developer who's interested in determining the relationship between family income, okay? So family income is going to be X, okay? Let me write it down here where you can see the data. Family income, okay? And I want you to notice something very important, that it's in thousands of dollars, okay? So we have, for example, X for this first family is 32. What does that actually mean? It means that they make $32,000 per year. So that's going to be very important for other reasons later on, but I want to make sure that you understand that. So X is family income. So we're comparing the family income of the residents of this community and the square footage of their homes, okay? So the square footage of their homes, another way to say that is their home size. So Y is going to be home size, okay? And this is going to be in not thousands, but hundreds of square feet. So that means that, what that means is that for 16, that means that their home is 1,600 square feet, okay? So that gives you kind of a feeling for what the data is. Now I want you to notice that N, our sample size, is 10. So even though you're seeing 20 pieces of data here, remember the data comes in pairs. So family number 1 is considered one data point and it has two values. That's why this is called bivariate data. So they come in pairs. So N is actually equal to 10, even though we have 20 pieces of information. So that's kind of important, okay? Now, how do we look at bivariate data, okay? One way to look at this graphically is to create something called a scatter plot or a scatter diagram, okay? A scatter plot or a scatter diagram, okay? So in the graph, each observation is going to be represented by a point. So in other words, if you remember from algebra, one of your previous classes, we're going to plot all the ordered pairs. Remember those XY pairs and their points, right? So I want to focus for a minute on this point right here that's way over here to the right. And I want to show you that that is actually family number 9. So just to remind you how we plot these, to create a scatter plot or a scatter diagram, you take the X value, which is 70, and the Y value, which is 30, right? Here in 70. And then, of course, you just plot that XY point right there. So this is the point. X is 70, Y is 30, just like you did in algebra, okay? And this is family number 9. Okay. And so what we, so scatter plots kind of help you see what's going on with the data. Can you see kind of that as the income's increasing, we see that it's kind of having this upward trend right here, okay? And what we're interested with correlation is the linear relationship. So we're not looking at other relationships, okay? We're looking at the linear relationship, if there's a linear relationship between the two variables x and y. In other words, is there a linear relationship between income and the square footage of our homes? And this is something I'm just going to keep saying over and over. It's the linear relationship that we are interested in. Okay, we're interested in that linear relationship between the two variables. Okay, so I'm going to continue this in another video.